how important is this off-season program for creating that chemistry?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. A part of your question cut out, but I'm assuming you asked like what that chemistry with the new corners and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's been great so far. It's been a great feeling to be back. And a lot of those guys, most of them, are really sharp, out there. And we've done a couple Zoom meetings now, but obviously Zoom meetings are way different than on the field interactions and seeing plays kind of full speed. So, just yesterday and today, getting out there and running around a little bit, I'm really excited, and we just kind of barely been scratching the surface on, like what we can accomplish in terms of the secondary and with the new corners, and obviously Kareem coming back and Bryce being healthy and things like that. So, man, I'm really excited.
Quick follow-up on a different topic. It's been about a month now since the Broncos players put out the statement via the union about voluntary program and whatnot. Is there any regret in how that was worded, or releasing the statement at all, because a lot of these players were obviously here yesterday?
No regret. I think the whole point of this was knowing that for one, players knowing that it's their right to exercise voluntary workouts, and they're just that. Now, I mean, I also said, I think it was a question last year, I'm not really sure who asked it, but someone had asked me about what was my opinion on OTAs and things like that. And I said, I think there's some value in OTAs. I think, there are different aspects, like we're talking about, phase one is just lifting and working out. Some guys are comfortable doing that on their own. Phase two is the same thing with a little bit of individual drills, incorporated in there. And that's still at that point, like, some guys still like doing individual drills with, certain guys that they're just comfortable with. And then going on to phase three, I find a lot of value in phase three because it's football. We're out there 11 on 11, 7 on 7. We're working through problems and details together, and I'm just speaking from a defensive standpoint. And so I feel like there's a lot of value in going into phase three, which is why, I think towards the, latter part of OTAs, talking about phase three, that's why a lot of guys were there and shown up and, excited to be back.
We'll go George Stoya, followed by Jeff Ledwall. Go ahead, George.
Hey, Justin, hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask you about the two rookie safeties that the Broncos drafted, Caden Stearns and Jamar Johnson. They both mentioned you as somebody they want to soak up a ton of knowledge from. What have you seen from them so far? And did you know anything about them before they were drafted?
Yeah, a little. I knew a little bit. I always like looking at, safeties that are coming out, and it's just always been an interest of mine. But so I knew a little bit, but just from the first couple of days of practice, I mean, those guys have great ball skills. That's something that just kind of like pops out, at practice. We're doing the drills and just simple things that you just pick up on. They have great ball skills and really quick learners too. It's not always easy to, take full command of a defense. Day one, you're asked to get in there and make adjustments and things like that. There are definitely, nuances in Vic's defense that can be complicated, and they're quick learners. And so it's really fun, just being able to kind of work through things together, not necessarily like a hierarchy, but hey, let's work through this together. Because even in coaching up, like seeing a play where I might see it a little bit different than they do, it helps me kind of broaden my own horizons, helps me learn the playbook a little bit more, things like that. So it's been, I know it's only been like 2 days at least on the field work. We've been meeting for a while, but it's been a lot of fun getting to know those guys.
We've got Jeff Ledwall, followed by Zach Stevens. Go ahead, Jeff.
Justin, it's off football a little bit, but I'm just curious that it's the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's murder. And I'm just curious, as you look back on the past year, reflect on how it changed you and maybe some of the things you're doing in your life moving forward because of it.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the question. I've had a little bit of time to reflect. It's just crazy. I think just thinking about everything that has kind of come full circle, there's been a lot of conversations. There's been a lot of action, behind some of those conversations. And I think all for the better. I just think each step I think I talked about it before. We were talking about the injustices. I think each step that is happening, in the right direction is a good thing. There's no pace on these things. There's obviously we all wish you could just be, all said and done, but we just know that's not the reality of how things work. And so I've just been extremely blessed and fortunate to just meet the people that I've met along this journey. And that's really what I've been reflecting about, just educating myself, like knowing that I don't have all the answers, but just I want to make, in some way, shape, or form, behind the scenes, whatever, just want to make a difference and not waste the opportunity that I have available to me right now in order to make that difference. So that's just kind of a little bit of like reflecting on those things. So thank you for the question.
If you no longer have a question, if you could please lower your hand, we'll go to Zach Stevens, followed by Troy Rank. Go ahead, Zach.
Justin, thanks for talking with us. Yesterday, Vaughn said that Patrick Surtain is a specimen and the real deal out there already. What have you thought of him just the first couple days of practice and adding him to that defensive back room?
Yeah, I mean, he's great, man. He's, about as tall as me. I was like out there talking with him, and I was like, kind of tall, man, and built very similarly. He's a big guy, so and moves really well, like just really fluid movement. Just seems like there's really like no wasted movement in his game, which obviously we all know how important that is, especially in the secondary position. So, man, I'm really excited for him. I was really excited we got him, and I'm really excited for him, and I'm excited for us to do something special this year.
We've got Troy Rank, followed by Andy Dalala. Go ahead, Troy.
Justin, good to see you, my man. Did you guys get any concessions from Coach Fangio as your return to OTAs? I've seen other player reps talk about how the schedule was tweaked. Was any of that done with Coach? And then I have a follow-up.
Yeah, that was part of the, kind of just like the process of just honestly all of us figuring it out. Not even like a PA versus like the coaches thing. It was really just like, hey, we're one team. We realize what our schedule or what our record has been the past couple of years, and guys want to come in and work, but how do we work, like a little bit smarter, I guess, with COVID and trying to meet requirements for times of what's CBA approved and things in that nature. And so that's what a lot of the conversation was like, hey, like we want to come in, we want to work, we need to work, right? We need that type of work. And it's just figuring out like, how can we make all of this happen and not even really compromise? I feel like, compromise is kind of giving up on both ends, but like, we just want to make it work. Like just make ends meet here and really figure this thing out. So ultimately the goal here is to just win football games when the season starts, and the season starts now in OTAs. And so that was the most important thing, was just, figuring the logistics out of like COVID testing and what happens if you get vaccines and this, that, and the other. So that was pretty much the gist of it.
Well, and you mentioned guys want to work because you're tired of losing. Part of the reason you've lost is offensively, you haven't settled on a quarterback. You now have another quarterback battle. Do you pay attention to that? And do you hear the Aaron Rodgers rumors as a player? Are you aware of that?
Yeah. So for the first part, the quarterback battle, I feel like that's nothing but, just healthy competition. I think what, at least in my opinion, what drives each of us, the best is just that competitive nature. When your back's against the wall and you got to prove yourself, like that's what like makes or breaks a lot of people, is just, being able to prove yourself in tough situations or in competitive moments. And so, every year you got to come in and compete for your job. It's not necessarily just handed to you, off what you've done in years prior. So I think that's going to be healthy, and that's going to be great. And I'm excited because, selfishly as a defensive guy, because I know I'm going to get their best in practice, and it's going to do nothing but, elevate our game on the defensive standpoint, and then vice versa. We'll be able to elevate, our quarterbacks, our offense in general, doing what we do in practice. And then in terms of Aaron Rodgers, obviously, yeah, I've heard of, all the rumors of, what's going to happen. Oh, well, we'll see in June, and, this, that, and the other. And then, but I never really, just the way I operate in life, I don't really operate in the what ifs. Like if it happens, then that's a different world of, it happens. But as of right now, Drew and Teddy are the guys, and, they're competing. So we'll always just wait to see. But yeah, you definitely hear those things.
We got time for about 3 more. Mike, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I didn't see the mute question there. Justin, this appeals to your co-player rep. Just with the Justin James situation, did it kind of strike you that, going forward with the union, if you're going to encourage, players not to show up, or however you want to put it, but you got to have injury protection off the field or away from the facility going forward?
Who's Justin James?
Juwan James. My fault.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it.
Okay, we're going to go to Brandon Kristoff, followed by George Stoya.
Justin, congrats on baby girl number 2 on the way. But I don't want to waste my question on that. If you feel like talking about it, great. but I do want to know, because you talk about still wanting to learn the defense and going over with the safeties helps you. You talked about how much Bryce helped you with this D. Are you at the point where you feel like you're an expert and you can help these guys? Plus, you add Kyle Fuller and you don't have to do anything really other than maybe let them know some new terminology?
Expert's a strong word, but there's definitely bonuses of, being in the same defense for a while. I honestly ask Bryce, like, most of the questions that I have. Obviously, I'll ask coaches and, while I'm out, but like while we're out there, there's a lot of things that happen on the field where it's like, this didn't feel right. And I'll just ask Bryce on the spot, like, in between plays. And then we'll come on the sideline, we'll have long conversations, and, do the same with Kareem, because he's just been around the league for a while. He knows, he has a good feel for what's going on. And so, and then in terms of Kyle, I know Kyle knows this defense, just as well, as someone like Bryce. And so when Kyle gets here, honestly, not even really looking to, I guess, like, extend knowledge on my end to him, but really just like take in, because he played, with Eddie Jackson and Adrian Amos. And I just kind of want to, feel for, like, how did they play this, or how did you see them playing this? And, like, just get the best cohesiveness that we can, so that we can be where we want to be as a secondary. So those are really some of the things that just thinking off the top of my head that, like, I don't know, I'm excited for.
We'll go last 2, George Stoya, followed by Luke Patterson. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, Justin, I don't think we've asked you, but I think you have a new defensive backs coach. How's Christian Parker fit in so far, and what do you like from him, and how's he maybe fit in, especially you guys have some new guys in that secondary?
Yeah, CP's great. He's been great so far. Like I said, you're still trying to just get a feel for people. You've been doing Zoom meetings for so long. It's nice to come in and be face to face and just be able to hold conversations and talk ball, talk life. And so CP's been great. Just in the first couple practices and film sessions, just very detail oriented, which I feel like, really will translate really well for some of the guys, man. Just really focusing on, like, the little things that are going to help you make the big plays. And already getting some of that coaching and knowledge from him, and just really looking forward to working with him, this year.
Finish us off, Luke.
Thanks for the time, Justin. You've played for Vic Fangio since his first year with the Broncos in 2019. Can you describe the growth of Vic as a head coach as both of you head into your 3rd season with the Broncos together?
Yeah, it's been fun in terms of, been fun in terms of growing and learning with Vic. Obviously, the losing hasn't been fun, but just in terms of getting, I feel like my football knowledge, both under Vic and Ed, has just kind of has grown, just little by little each year. And so that's really the thing that I'm just, like, the most thankful for. And then, you add in guys like Kareem, and obviously I played with Chris for a few years. And then, we had AJ last year, and someone as smart as Bryce. Like it feels like I just am always in a blessed situation. I'm just learning constantly from guys that have so much knowledge and so much wisdom from the game, and it's been great. And then having the ability to learn and adapt over the years with this defense with Vic and Ed has just been really good for me. Seeing things, making adjustments, putting us in the right calls, sometimes the wrong calls. And it's just been great. Really thankful for it. So I'm really excited to continue that, and more importantly, transfer that over to some wins.